Hello friends, welcome back. Before we go into the actual concepts of the Indian Constitution, we need to understand few basic concepts to understand our Constitution comprehensively. So I'll explain all these basic concepts in a simple manner. We'll begin with meaning of the Constitution. So what is a Constitution? A Constitution is basic or fundamental law of the land, which means any law made in a country should be in accordance with the constitution, that is basic law for land. Suppose if our parliament makes any law which is not accordance with the constitution, can be declared as null and void by the Supreme Court, which is ultimate protector of our constitution. And constitution sets few basic principles or rules which are predetermined, according to which a state or people of that state are governed. So it talks about relationship between government and people to whom the government is formed. Now we will discuss about functions of the constitutions. Why do we need a constitution? The very first function of the constitution is to provide a set of basic rules. The people of our country or people of any country for that matter are different in many ways. For example, they follow different religions. They may follow different professions, have different abilities, different hobbies, different tastes. So they are basically varied in many aspects. But we need to live together and depend on each other in various ways. So they have to agree on some basic rules, saying that the rules are legally enforceable, gives an assurance to everybody that other will follow these. If they do not do so, they will be punished. So the first function of a constitution is to provide a set of basic rules that allow for minimal coordination amongst members of a society. Second function of a constitution is specification of decision making powers. We earlier discussed a constitution is a body of fundamental principles, according to which a state is constituted or governed. But what should these fundamental rules be? Who gets to decide this? The constitution will provide answer to these questions. It specifies the basic allocation of power in a society. For example, in Indian Constitution, it is specified that in most instances, Parliament gets to decide laws and policies, and that Parliament itself be organized in a particular manner as decided in the Constitution. So, a Constitution specifies who has the power to make decisions in a society, and it decides how the government will be constituted. The next function of a constitution is its limitations on the powers of government. In constitution, the parliament have the authority to make laws. But if parliament makes a law which prohibits you to practice your religion, or it enforces you to wear certain clothes or any other law which is unjust and unfair. So the constitution is set some limits on what a government can impose on its citizens. These limits are fundamental in the sense that government may never trespass them. The next function is fundamental identity of people. This means the people as a collective entity come into being only through the basic constitution, that is by agreeing to a basic set of norms about how one should be governed. So, the constitution provides fundamental identity to the people of that state or nation. These are the important functions of the constitution. Now we shall discuss about kinds of government which are present in different countries in different parts of the world. On the basis of number of ruler or rurals, the government can be divided into three types. One is monarchy, oligarchy, and democracy. The first one is monarchy. So what is monarchy? It is one man rule. The power is usually vested in the king or queen or of a royal family. It is monarchy. The second one is oligarchy. As you all know, it is kind of a government where the power is vested in few individuals or group of dominant class in a society. And the third one is, and the most popular one is democracy, which is practiced almost all republics in the world. So, what is a democracy? It is a rule by the people. In a democracy, people are the rulers. We divide democracy into two types. One is direct democracy. Second one is indirect democracy. Now we first discuss about direct democracy. So what is direct democracy? In direct democracy, the people directly run the government. Here there are three forms of direct democracy practiced in different parts of the world. Let's discuss one by one. The first one is referendum. A referendum is a direct vote in which an entire electorate of a country is asked to vote on a particular proposal or an issue. For example, in Scotland, there was a referendum about whether to join the United Kingdom or not. Another example is the recent one is about Brexit. It is about Britain whether to stay with the European Union or to exit from the European Union. These are the examples for the referendum. The second variant in direct democracy is initiative. An initiative is a means by which a petition signed by a certain minimum number of registered voters can force a public vote. For example, an initiative can be proposed on different laws and for the constitutional amendment or any other issues. Some provinces in the Canada and Finland are using this form of direct democracy in the world. The third form of direct democracy is recall. Recall is a procedure by which voters can remove an elected officials from the office through a direct vote before their actual term ends. It is most powerful form of direct democracy. Next one is indirect democracy. So what is indirect democracy? In indirect democracy, the people choose the representatives to govern them. Most of the countries follow this kind of democracy in the world. For example, India, USA, United Kingdom, etc. The next one, the kinds of government is on the basis of extent of authority. On the basis of extent of authority, we divide governments into two types. One is central or national. Second one is local government. So what is a central or national government? Which means that it exercises control and authority throughout the territory of the state or a country, which is central or national government. For example, the central government of our country. The second one is local government. It exercises control and authority only through their particular political subdivision. For example, province, municipality, panchayat, etc. On the basis of distribution of power or extent of powers, we divide governments into two types. One is unitary, the second one is federal. Okay, first one is unitary government. What is a unitary government? Here, all powers are centralized in the national government and devolved into the local government units. For example, United Kingdom. Second one is federal government. In federal government, where all powers are distributed among the central government and its units. For example, state governments, local governments, etc. Here, distribution of powers on the basis of cooperation. The best example for a federal government system is United States of America. The next in the kinds of government is on the basis of system of government. This we divide into two types. One is presidential form of government. The second one is parliamentary form of government. So first one is presidential form of government. What is presidential form of government? Here the power of all the three organs, that is executive, legislative and judicial branches of the government, are separated from one another. That is, they are independent in their powers. However, they are coordinated and co-equal while functioning. Whereas in parliamentary form of government, the executive and legislative powers are fused or merged into one through the creation of parliament. For example, in USA, where the presidential form of government is present, the president is elected directly by the people of that country and he is devoid of the legislator of the country. Whereas in our India, which is a parliamentary form of government, the head of the government, that is Prime Minister of India, is elected by the MPs who are elected indirectly by the people. And other two important features of the parliamentary government is presence of two heads, that is president who is executive head and the prime minister who is real head of the government. Second one is the cabinet or council of ministers are responsible to the legislature, that is parliament. United States of America is the best example for presidential form of government, whereas India is a system of parliamentary government. Now we will discuss about written constitution versus unwritten. Written and unwritten constitutions does not mean literally one is written and another one is not written down. In a written constitution, the provisions such as articles, schedules, clauses has been codified into a single legal document. Whereas in unwritten constitution, even though the provisions are written down, which are not codified into a single legal document. The other important feature of written constitution is the constitution is itself supreme power, not the organs of the governments like legislature, judiciary or executive. But in unwritten constitution, the parliament is the supreme power. Due to the codified nature of the written constitution, it can be rigid or flexible, depend upon the amendment procedure followed by the constitution. Whereas a unwritten constitution is very flexible, which can be amended easily as it is not codified. The example for written constitution is our Indian constitution, which is lengthiest in the world, and Constitution of America. The example for unwritten constitution is Britain Constitution. Thank you for watching the video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel Kadamba KS. For more updates, follow us on Facebook Kadamba KS and also in Twitter at Kadamba KS.